folks, my name is Tom Vasel, and welcome to Best of Publishers series, in which we take a look at different board game publishers, and I talk about them and tell you my favorite games from that publisher. Today we're talking about Repos. Now, 10 years ago, Repos was not one of the big names in the industry, but they've consistently produced games that have come with a huge splash. I mean, their games have really made a big deal, and a couple of their games have become just phenomenal worldwide sellers. So these are my 10 favorite games that have come from Repos, starting with number 10. Number 10 is Masquerade. When I was making this list, I was sitting around like, what's each number going to be? Masquerade was easy, number 10. It's an interesting game from Bruno Faidutti where you have these different cards and they do different things, and you're playing cards and pretending that you're one person and maybe you aren't. It's a good game in that genre, just probably not the best. Number 9 is Dr. Panic. Now, Dr. Panic is an insane game. It can only be played in very specific circumstances, like at a convention or if you have a room full of people and you're all willing to run around the table to pretend they're doing compressions, to, do different dexterity games. It's just a bunch of mini party games in a box as you're trying to keep a patient alive. Number 8 is Terror in Maple City. This is a dexterity game in which you have giant monsters and you are blowing buildings down. You are flicking things at them and smashing them down. You are dropping and smashing them. It's all about destruction, Godzilla style, in a city and seeing meeples scatter around. It's probably not the best game because you're trying to collect different things, but a lot of it's random. But it is fun to throw buses at each other, to flick, to move. It's a pretty solid game. Certainly it's disappeared off the radar, but I still will never forget the first time I saw it and I was like, ooh, this looks fun. It is. That's Terror in Maple City. Number 7 is City of Horror. This was the sequel to the Mall of Horror. In City of Horror, think of Walking Dead. You're holed up in a city and zombies are coming and you are going to try to barricade against the zombies in different areas in the board, but the zombies are likely going to break through, so you are going to vote as to who you're going to throw out to the zombies while the rest of you run. Yes, I know. Not the most polite themes and probably not the most polite games. This is a mean game. Constantly voting and seeing who you leave behind, and you got to get as many of your people to survive as you possibly can by making everyone else happy if you can. Number 6 is Concept. Now, Concept is almost more of an activity than a game. I love playing Concept. It's like 20 questions, but you're using, concepts or pictures or different things, putting cubes out and trying to get people to guess your idea from how you're putting those cubes out. I find it a fascinating experience. It's a lot of fun. Concept. Number 5 is coming out this year from Repos Productions. I played an early version of it, and I've also played the original publisher's version, and that's When I Dream. When I Dream, one person is blindfolded, and everybody else is going to be asking them clues or giving them one-word clues about words, and they have to guess these word cards. However, some people giving them clues are lying. And some people sometimes lie, sometimes tell the truth. A really fun, just entertaining game to get into, When I Dream. Number 4 is Seven Wonders. This is easily the biggest and most well-known game that they have done. This game about drafting as you build your civilization and pass the cards around the table. There's 3 major expansions for it: Leaders, Cities, and Babel. But there's also minor expansions, and it's just really fun to play. Consistently, a game that people are asking for, and it fits up to 7 players, and just very fun, 7 Wonders. Number 3 for me is Cash and Guns. The idea of pointing guns at other people is not one that tickles everyone's fancy, but just the whole aspect of who has a fake bullet, everyone is trying to guess. There was a first edition. They came out with a second edition recently, which is superior to the first edition, but both were a lot of fun. Both have expansions, and both just have that whole aspect of, is he lying? Drop your weapon if you're not sure. Number 2 is Seven Wonders Duel, which is not a reworking of Seven Wonders at its, it is, I guess, at its core, but it feels like a very different game. Seven Wonders Duel is just a very tense-filled back and forth game as you're drafting, and drafting doesn't seem like it would work well in a 2-player game. Here it does as you go back and forth and try to get different combos and win one of 3 different ways: by getting points, military, or science. A fantastic little game. And my favorite game from Repos is Ghost Stories. This cooperative game where you are Shaolin monks and you are sitting there and you are defending as these waves of ghosts just keep coming in and in and in and in, and you are fighting them off. You're working your way around. It's a hard game, but it's beatable. I beat it many times. But each time you beat it, you're like, oh, wow, we just beat it. And it's so fun the whole time. As you go around and try to use special abilities, as you go around and attack the ghost, it's an excellent game. It has 2 great expansions. The first one's better, but both of them are a lot of fun and add even more variety into the mix. Definitely you want to try this one out. What's your favorite Repos Entertainment games? Let me know in the comments. They don't have as many games as many other companies, but their games are truly well done. Definitely check them out. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and this has been Best of Repos.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.